Good. So it's going to
Right.
be our second start, and we are looking tonight at the fact that every ending is actually the start of a new beginning, and we're going to tell you why we're talking about that tonight. So what we were explaining before, when hopefully some of you could lip read, but if you couldn't lip read, we're talking about just the word satsang, because some people think it's a religion, it's got something to do with satsangi. No, the word Satsang merely means gathering of wisdom. That's all it means. And if you find what we have to share of value, if you can press the like and the share button. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you could click our channel, join our channel, and also just click the notification bell as well if you wouldn't mind doing that for us. So thank you. We always start the evening with a meditation just to clear the mind and prepare ourselves for the new week ahead. And Michelle will give us some Astro updates. There's some very interesting things coming, so I'm sure you'll want to hear about that. And then we're going to share some information, some wisdom, and some tools for dealing with the endings and the beginnings that we are going through at the moment. And then we'll end with a visualization. So thank you all for being with us tonight. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And let's start this evening by centering ourselves into the only place that's real, and that is the present moment. Now you can do this meditation with your eyes open. If you've got a candle, it's good to just stare at a candle flame, but otherwise you can just shut your eyes and just withdraw your mind from all of the times and all of the places, and just becoming centered in the here and now. Right, so start out by connecting your awareness with the breath of life and taking a very deep breath in. And then releasing that breath back to life. Just release it. Take another very deep breath in. And as you breathe in, just feel the gratitude of the incredible gift that this breath is. And as you surrender that breath, just relax your shoulders, your neck muscles, and just let go for a few moments. And take another very deep breath in. Take the air. Imagine it going right down to your toes this time and up to the top of the head, so you're filling the whole body with this beautiful gift of the breath of life. And then surrendering it, just withdrawing your mind from all of the times and all of the places, and just being centered in your body here and now. The physical body doesn't go away in time. It's always here in the present moment. As long as you have a body, the body is present. So one way of bringing the mind out of the stories, out of the stories of our life, out of the drama and the challenges and the stresses, is to fully inhabit the body with our physical presence. There's two good reasons for doing that. One reason is that it helps us come into a state of clarity and peace. And the other reason, it's actually very healthy for the body to inhabit the body. You know, there's a saying that if you have a mansion and the master's not home, then all sorts of other elements may occupy that mansion. And so it is with the physical body. If we bring our awareness into the physical body and we occupy the body fully with our attention and our awareness, nothing else can inhabit the body. And you find that dis-ease dissipates and ease takes its place. So let's just connect with the incredible miracle that it is, this human body, becoming aware of the chair or the bed or the floor or the couch that we're sitting or lying on. Feel the physical sensations coming into your body. Maybe the backrest of the chair is a good reminder that you are supported right here, right now. Feel where your feet are resting. Giving thanks to Mother Gaia beneath our feet for all her wondrous gifts. Everything that we have in the physical world comes from Mother Gaia. Become aware of where your hands are touching right now, and what an incredible gift it is to have touch, the sensation of touch. Feel what the temperature of the room is like where you are right now. Feel the air on your cheeks. Bring your awareness to your forehead and just smooth away any worry lines there. You might like to put a slight smile into your cheeks and relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Bring your awareness now into your hearts. And with every in-breath, feel your heart expanding. Feel your heart opening to life just in this moment, in the here and now. And feel life embracing you right now. As we embrace life by opening our hearts, life does reciprocate by embracing us. See if you can feel the aliveness in your body right now. Feel the life animating your body. It's beating your heart, digesting your food, breathing you, enabling you to hear, to touch, to feel, to taste. These are all made possible through this energy that occupies the body called life. And when we are one with life, stress dissipates. Fear and anger and regret and doubt do not occupy the same space as the marriage between life and awareness. Become aware of everything you can hear in this moment. We're on a farm and we can hear insects and beetles singing in the background. What can you hear? And as you listen, become aware of who or what is listening. Is it your name that listens? Is it your personality? Is it your education or your achievements? Just for a moment, remove the concept of the past and just identify yourself with no past. You're just here in this moment, and your name is part of the past. Your relationships, your career is all part of the past. Right now in this moment, who are you? You are the one that listens. You are the one that feels the chair that you're sitting or lying on. You're the one that's aware of the physical body, the sounds, and the temperature of the room on your cheeks. You are the awareness. And awareness is not a thing, it's a space. It's a place of presence. And just connect with this essence of being in this moment. Just being here now. Experiencing directly and surrendering to the isness of this moment here and now. And take another beautiful deep breath in. And surrender the breath. And at the end of the breath, just become aware of that quiet peace, peaceful stillness, emptiness, which is your true identity, your true essence. And keeping your attention on this emptiness and on this presence and on this peace, softly, gently, open your eyes and look around the room and just see how softer everything seems. Thank you for being here. this evening. Well, it's this evening from our time.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us and being patient with our Mercury retrograde issues.
Yeah.
We're not sure what happened there. So,
What's happening in the stars?
We have some interesting, exciting energies coming up this week. So in a week's time we've got no, it's actually not a week's time, on the 29th, which is just about a week, we have a solar eclipse, which is a new moon, and it's the first new moon of the year, of the astrological year. So you can kind of see it as as the new year, and energetically.
Yeah, because Aries is the beginning of a new year.
Aries, beginning of
And
the year.
I'm Aries, which means I'm always first.
It's John's birthday on Tuesday.
Yeah, and I'm first. Aries is a good sign.
Likes to be first. Isn't always first, but likes to be first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some very interesting energies around, and I'm not going to give you a whole astrology broadcast because I've just done that, and I'll put it out tomorrow. But the energies are such that at the new moon, which is in Aries, which means that the sun and the moon are both in Aries, so there's this Aries energy, which is new intentions, new beginnings. It's an energetic kind of let's go, let's get ourselves involved in new dreams, new projects. It's a sort of a burst of new energy. However, at the same time, we also have a batch of planets in Pisces, and they're right next to each other. Pisces is the old cycle, and Aries is the new cycle. So there's that. So that's the new and the old. And then there's also much, much bigger cycles, which I'll explain in detail in my update. But on the day after the new moon, the planet Neptune, which is a planet that's connected with our spirituality and our connection, our inner higher connection, moves into Aries as well. And it has been traveling through the zodiac for the last 165 years. So it's quite a big move when it moves into a new sign, because we have never experienced it before. The last time it was there was 1861. That was when the American Civil War happened, apart from a few other things.
Well, let's hope there's not another American Civil War.
Let's hope not. But there's a lot of other things besides. It's really so what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling into is that it's really sort of it's kind of a softening, if you like, of the ego energy, which is the me, I, the personality, the roles. I am what I do. What you always say, I am what I think, and I am what other people say I am. It's a softening of that, and a heightening, and a sort of connecting with the higher energy of who we actually are beyond the ego. So we just thought that it would be a good chance to talk about it, because this is the energy between two eclipses. We had the lunar eclipse 2 weeks ago, and now we have a solar eclipse. So we're in the eclipse window as well, which is also releasing the old and bringing in the new. So there's lots of different themes happening.
Yeah, and this is a very big transformation of energy that we're going through at the moment, and it's not a quick thing. I read something, so a friend sent me something on the 21st of March, all hell is going to break loose, and we've got all these new things that are coming in. And it isn't like that. This change is a process, a transformation process. But one thing I'm fairly sure of is that we are going to see a lot more change this year and next year. A lot of transformation. Now, in any transformation, there's something that leaves and something that arrives. That's the transformation thing. The analogy we often use is the caterpillar transforming into the butterfly. And in order for the butterfly to arrive, the caterpillar has to leave. So in our language, the caterpillar has to die for the butterfly to be born. And so we're going through a process of massive energy change at the moment. And there's a lot of death that we have to experience in order to clear the field for the new to arrive. And we know from a physical point of view that there's a lot of deaths going on. We hear stories every day of someone passing away. There seems to be quite a an opportunity or a portal at the moment for souls to leave this plane of experience. And but we're also talking about the death of the persona, the ego, the identity that we have. So the old identity that we've clung to, that we've created through our life, basically now is a good opportunity to drop those old identities so that we can be an open palette and a blank canvas for the new to come to us and into us and through us. And that's the process that we're going through. So it's the releasing of the old identity, and then it's the to be ready and open and in the right fertile space to be receptive to the new. And the new is not an improved old. It is something radically different.
Mm. And we've been preparing for this for many, many years. If you go back to the astrology situation, since 2010, 2011, this process has actually been underway in terms of preparing us to be ready for this shift in consciousness. There's cycles upon cycles upon cycles. But it's also got to do with our belief systems about what we have believed to be true about, for example, humanity, about where we come from, about how long we've been here. And I think that in the next few years, it's going to become very, very aware. We're going to become very aware of what we've been told is not necessarily the truth, and that there's much, much, much more that we don't know that's going to be revealed in terms of our multidimensionality, in terms of our history, in terms of how long we've been here, in terms of what we are really, what we are. That's going to be revealed as well. And also just in terms of what does it mean to be human. We've spoken about that a little bit before, that with the advent of AI, how do we discern, first of all, what is real and what's not. And just today, we were actually sent something that was sort of a little video that was supposedly Alan Watts. And some of you might know of Alan Watts. And it was a really good, it was a very good summation of his teaching in apparently his voice. But when it got to a certain point in it, we both said, this is not Alan Watts. And it wasn't Alan Watts. But it was Alan Watts's information that he has shared when he was alive and maybe written in books. It's probably been fed into AI, and then what sounds like his voice conveyed the messages to us. So now in this particular case, it was fine. The message was pretty sound and right, but you don't know that it's actually not the real person. So how do you know? And that's what I was referring to earlier, is we have to actually trust a higher knowledge, a higher knowing, a deeper knowing, our intuition, our inner knowing, rather than what's been presented to us as fact. And I think that's going to be another way that this plays out, is how do we discern going forward? And it's not going to be from the mind, it's going to be from a very much deeper place, which we've been preparing for over the last years. What do you think about that?
So everything that we know to be true, or that we believe to be true, that belief is really inside our heads. It's stored in memory. And one of the things that has to die at the moment is the perception that I am my thoughts, I am my memories. And that is so hard because the whole persona is built up on that identity. I am what I do, and I am what I have, and I am what other people think of me. That's a persona that we have. And in order for us to make this transition successfully, we have to let go of the old ideas of who and what we are. And in the opening meditation, I suggested that we drop the past and we drop even the idea of the name. Because the name is really a holding space, a holding basket for all of our identity, for our achievements, for our failures. They're all held in the basket of our name. And that basket now, while it created a sense of self for us for maybe a long time, maybe thousands of years, we've had this identity that I am that 3D, 4D matrix persona of time and space and achievement, etc. Now is the time of transformation, and we're shifting from the fourth dimension now into the fifth dimension, which is a process. And the fifth dimension is beyond time. And unfortunately, the mind only works in time. It only has the ability to process information in time, where the real essence of who and what we are, which is what we went into in the opening meditation, is when we drop time, when we drop the past and we drop the future, we enter into something that we call, well, we can give it a name, we can call it being if you want, we can call it I am if you want. These are all what we call the vertical plane, the vertical plane of true essence, which is timeless, it doesn't change. Being never gets older, doesn't get younger, it just is. Presence is just presence, it's just awareness. That's all it is, awareness. And so this transformation that we're making at the moment is to drop the idea that I am a somethingness and come into being. And it's only through the releasing, the ending, the dying to what we're not, can we be ready and open and available to the fifth dimension as it's born within us. I mean, Jesus spoke when he was asked where heaven was. And he said it's all around you, but you perceive it not. That's in the Gospel of St. Thomas. But in the other Gospel it says, the kingdom of heaven is within. And what that means is that it's within your very essence, within our beingness, not within your personality or your house or your physical possessions, but in the no-thingness of life. And this is the transformation that we're moving through at the moment. It's very hard for the personality, because personality, the mind, only can deal with things that you can attach labels to, that can be you spoke earlier about the identities that we have, the boundaries that we have, the solidity we have. And it's a case of letting go of all of that and just knowing ourselves to be the eternal awareness. And in that, we're then able to assimilate new information coming in beyond the mind, and the new information coming in is known through a process of intuition. And intuition doesn't come in sentences. It doesn't come in feelings. It just comes in a knowing, in a single point of awareness. It's there in one instant. Where the mind always has to work in time, intuition is just no time at all. And unfortunately, one thing that blocks intuition is an overactive mind. So learning to meditate, learning to still the mind, learning to just focus on the essence of this moment, here and now, is one of the things that hopefully we've been practicing that for some time now, but I think we need to up our attention and our value of the no-thingness, of the space between our thoughts. Intuition, higher knowledge, higher wisdom, and new information can only appear in the space between our thoughts. Each thought is a programmed thingness, and newness cannot come through the old program. It can come through the space between our thoughts, that virgin emptiness, and that is where heaven lies, and that is where the fifth dimension is directly accessible and experienced from a human point of view through that portal of no time.
Yeah, it's like the 0 point.
The 0 point field.
And it's quite interesting because astrologically, this is a move to the 0 degrees of Aries, which is the cardinal point. It's the point of all potential. It's the strongest point that we have, and it's 0 point. So it's the more we can actually return to that 0 point throughout the day, not just when you're meditating, but during the day. Just bring yourself back into that 0 point where you're not in the past, you're not in the future. And in that way, you're connecting with that part of you that does not change. And if you're connecting with that part of you that does not change, then you're actually aligned with this energy. Otherwise, you're actually fighting it. You're standing in the river, fighting the river. as opposed to actually flowing with life, being one with life. So this is about us using the tools that we've had and we've gained and we've practiced, but even more so, because this is a time of huge change. So we're going to be seeing things and processing things that we have never seen before or processed before. And so the stronger that that 0 point field is, the more able we are to come back to that during our day. As soon as we get too sort of heady, or we get carried away into the future or the past, or into concerns, or into trying to understand, this is not the energy of understanding. It's the energy of knowing. It's an inner knowing. Like when you watch something and you just know that this is not, it's not aligned with my energy, or it's not true. It's just a knowing. There's not necessarily any proof. You can't go and find it in a book. You just know. And that takes practice of just actually coming back to that. We've all got it. And from what I'm seeing is there's actually a very distinct possibility to open, as John said there, to higher knowing. So when you don't know, to actually ask for guidance, to open, and to go back into that 0 point field and say, okay, I'm open to guidance. Show me the way. Show me how I need to do this. And listen to nature, be aware of symbols, signs, and don't discount them, because that's the way nature speaks to us. That's the way life speaks to us. It's not woohoo at all. We are one with it. We're one with it. If we're walking in a forest, we are part of that forest. We're not people walking in a forest. We are part of it. The forest has a mycelium network. We are part of that. It's not separate from us.
Because we're energy.
We are energy, and so is the forest, and so are the rocks, and so are the plants, and so are the birds. So the more we actually think that we're separate from it, that's going back to the old paradigm. The more we understand, or we feel, we know that we are part of it, we have access to other dimensions of knowledge, of wisdom, of truth. So this is like the most important thing that any of us can be doing right now, because we're at the edge. We're literally in between worlds. This is an evolution of human consciousness. And a lot of people have said that, and we've spoken about it, because it's a long time coming. This is not just a short little cycle.
But
These are major cycles that are here. But even now, with them being here, they're still playing out over the next years. It's not just a one-time thing. So very often I get messages from people who have seen something, or there's 7 planets all lined up in a row, and we're going to be able to see them all, and it's going to change everything, and we're never going to be the same again. It's not true. A lot of that is just not true. So it's to actually align with what is true, what we know to be true. And what we know to be true is in the spaces between the ideas and the words and the stories.
Yeah. So the old world was very much based on form, on things being a certain way with boundaries. So, for example, the mind will look at physical planets lined up in a certain way, and because then we know what's going on there. But the new world is based on energy, pure energy. The old world is based on fear, which is false evidence appearing real. We see a solid object and we think that is it. But as we go into quantum physics, we find that solid objects are not solid objects at all. They never were solid objects. It's an illusion that something has solidity in the way that we perceived it to be. And that is the false world that now has to die for the new world to be born. And what is the energy of the new world? Well, it's based on a frequency that we would call love. And love isn't a commodity, which is what the mind would do to love. It would package it and give it to someone and hope that someone gives it back to you as a thingness. But love itself is not a thingness. It is the perception of oneness. So it's a very different identity to have, is one based on love rather than based on fear. Fear is about me being a solid object separate from other solid objects, and love is a feeling of oneness, Ubuntu. I am because everything else around me is. So Michelle was speaking earlier about walking in the forest. So the energy of life knows this. It's how it operates. It operates through a field of interconnectedness, where the human world operates through individual things trying to eke out their own little life as a separate entity from the whole. Nature doesn't operate like that. And so this transformation that we're making is a transformation in perception, is how we see ourselves. The most important question you can be asking yourself right now is, who am I? Who am I? If I'm not my name, if I'm not my achievements, if I'm not my relationships, who and what am I? That's the question. Who am I when I step out of time, if I'm not time bound? The matrix, the very matrix which we've been participating in for a long time and perhaps lost in, is a matrix of mind-time. That's what it is. And this is now reaching its point of complete dysfunctionality, and there's a new world being born. And in order to be ready for that new world, we have to gain a new sense of self. And it's rather like the analogy which we've used many times before, is driving a manual car and changing gear. You're in one gear, which enables you to optimize a certain relationship between the engine and the wheels. And then you have to find a new gear because the old gear doesn't work anymore, or it's not optimal for the situations that you're finding yourself in. So you have to change gear and you go into neutral. And that is the energy that we need to be focusing on at the moment. Michelle called it the 0-point field. That is the nothingness. There's a wonderful line from a book called A Course in Miracles on the opening page. It says, nothing real can be threatened, and nothing unreal exists, and therein lies the peace of God. Now, all form can and will be threatened. There's no doubt about that. It's only the formless which can't be threatened. That 0-point field can't be threatened. You cannot threaten zero. If you come to zero with a sharp knife and say, I'm going to cut you in half, do you think the zero is in any way perturbed? If you cut zero in half, what do you have? 2 half zeros. No, you just have zero again. You just have nothing. So zero is the one thing which can't be threatened. And that is who and what we are. We are the 0-point field. That is our true essence. It's called being. And so this time that we're going through now, I believe is very important that we start to honor more and more the being part of the human. And being and spirit are one and the same. So you can call yourself a human being or a human spirit. The human part is the form part that's based in time, which has occupied most of our awareness for too long. And now it's a case of stepping out of the form into the formless and knowing ourselves to be being. And it's really important that we do this work, because if we still cling to the idea that I am something solid, then we are going to definitely suffer as that solidity dissipates, as the forms around us start to become unstable. So this is really important that we do this work, that we do the meditation. And one of the things that to focus on is the breath, the breathing. Why? Because it's the least solid thing that we can ever conceptualize in our awareness.
Yeah, it's always here. That doesn't change. It's
the breath
here.
Of life.
And what this is really doing is it's saying, connect with that part of you that doesn't change. So that part of you that is here always, and the rest of it's all going to change. And so we kind of get shocked when things change, and they shouldn't change, but they are going to change. That's a given. So what doesn't change? That's what this consciousness shift is to see ourselves as not separate and eternal, but to really see it, to really know it. And this has happened, I believe, in many generations past us, that they've known this. They've known, there have been civilizations that have known that they are connected and they are much more than the physical. But we have forgotten it. We think that we are physical. So I am this body, I am this person, I am this name. And that's part of it. Yes, you're having a human experience, But what is it that is eternal within that human experience?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that doesn't change, has never changed? You might have been around 500,000 times before, and there's still something that has never changed. It's that energy that we're actually connecting with, and that's this shift in, and the breaking of the illusion that we are separate.
Yeah.
That's an illusion.
Yeah.
It's a lie. It's not true. But we've believed it because that's what we've been taught.
You can only be separate in identity as a thing.
Yeah, we've been taught that this is it. This is your identity.
Yeah, and your achievements.
Yeah. It's like you've often
your
said.
Your gender, your race.
Yeah, you've often said, you get into a car and you drive the car, but you don't for a second think you are the car. But we get into this body and we drive the body and we think we are the body. We think that's it. It's just the body. And we're not. So it's the realization, it's the seeing, it's the acknowledgement, it's the remembering that we are not just this physical solid state. We are the eternal frequency that moves, life force that moves through everything.
And I'll tell you why that's really important. Because the old world of things, we had our needs met by working with objects, by manipulating physical things, and through the power of doing. And through the power of doing and manipulating physical objects, we had our physical needs met. And that's the world of the caterpillar. The caterpillar marched up and down branches, eating leaves, controlling the bush, and that was its reality. Now, in that analogy, we're now transforming into the butterfly. So we're going through this null point zone where the body, the physical world of the caterpillar dissolves. And what emerges is something that doesn't crawl along branches anymore and doesn't eat leaves anymore. It's something that experiences a completely different reality. And so the caterpillar looking forward says, but how am I going to get my needs met when I'm a butterfly? How am I going to do this? I still have to eat leaves, I still have to crawl, not realizing that the world it's moving into has no need for crawling, has no need for eating. And so I'm going to suggest that this transformation that we're moving from a world of manipulating solid objects around to get our needs met, because we need physical objects to support the physical body, is a world where we are shifting into energy. And it is the frequency and the flow and the direction and the focus of energy which will see that our needs are met, rather than the manipulation of physical objects. That's a completely different way of seeing life and seeing your needs being met. So, for example, one of the things which we've worked with for thousands of years is the power of prayer. What is prayer? But that is working with energy. And that type of approach to life will become more and more important in the weeks and the months ahead. That we start to focus and work with the field of energy. And that, I mentioned that book earlier, Course in Miracles. That is the new energy that we're going to be working with, is the energy or the way of the miracle. And what is a miracle? But you don't do anything and suddenly things change. And that is the world that we are moving into, where we are no longer going to be reliant on manipulation, where we're going to be working on what is the true energy field that we are occupying and we are emanating and radiating into the world. That is going to determine the world that we meet, not how good we are at strategizing physical things. It's really important to make this transformation because, as I said, there is the likelihood of a lot of suffering on this planet as the old ways of being and doing in the world no longer work. And yet, just closer than our breath is the new world waiting to be born. The world of energy, the world of vibration, the world of intention, the world of heart, and it is all under the umbrella of the frequency that we would call love. And that's the important thing, to make in each and every moment a choice between false evidence appearing real, fear, that I am a physical thing and I need physical things to meet my needs, and my doingness is responsible for bringing me those physical needs, to the world of love. Nature, for example, works through the field of love. It doesn't rely upon its doingness to bring it. It allows the flow of life itself to meet its needs. So it's stepping from a struggle state of consciousness into a flow state of consciousness.
Yeah, and I think that the more that I think one of the sort of signposts is that the more attached we are to the stories that we tell from our past, the more we're still in the grip of them, the more we're still triggered by them. We know that we're still clearing that. So it's not to say that you're clearing the past. You have a past, but you're not identifying yourself with it. You no longer necessarily get upset when you think about it, because you've dealt with it and you've healed and you've moved on from it. You're not that person anyway. So it's not to not have a past, but it's to delaminate the awareness. It's to not be identified with our past stories. You have the stories, yes, you've had these different roles, you've had these different people, all of these things have happened, but they are not you, and they're no longer here. So the more we're carrying those, the less easy it is for us to actually be in this 0 point field, because it's almost like the eye of the needle, like a biblical story, which you can only go through the gate if you leave your stuff behind.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going through right now, is we're clearing and letting go of the stuff so that we can actually move through this it's like a fine line, it's like a knife edge that you're on, where if you go left or right, you're not in it. That's what it is. It feels like it's a sort of a squeezing through and a letting go of.
Yeah, and you can take no form with you, no belief with you.
And it's the belief systems more than anything,
yeah,
really.
It is. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, who some of you may well know, his work, he talks about the personality. And the personality he refers to in a clever way, he says it's your personal reality. And the ego has a personal reality based usually in time, in past. And he said in order to create a new personal reality, you have to create a new personality. And that's really what we're doing. The personality of the caterpillar cannot occupy the body and the life and the world and the experience of a butterfly. It's a case of dying to the old, releasing any sense of attachment and identity to the old sense of form. And a thought is a form. It's a thought form. All beliefs are made up of thought forms. It's to die to those, to die to the identity of those, and to be like a blank canvas, waiting for the newness to be imprinted upon it. And that's the transformation that we're going through. It's not easy for the ego, because the ego wants to hold on to past and time, and it's definitely not for the faint-hearted. But it is a journey that we're all making, whether we like it or not. We are going to go through this portal, and it's a case of how we go through it. Do we go through it struggling and in fear and anxiety, or do we go through it in joy and exuberation and this beautiful anticipation of the newness without knowing what it is? And that is the choice that we individually, each one of us, are making. How we go through this, that's our creation.
And the more resistance, the more struggling. Just to know that.
Yeah.
The more resistance, the more we're going to struggle. So we can struggle, it's fine, no problem. We don't have to give up our stories, we can keep them. But if we want to be free and we want to move into this new, let's call it dimension, which is right here, you're not going anywhere, then you can't really do that if you're carrying too much of the old.
You can't carry your old suitcases with you, unfortunately. You've got to go through completely naked. Just as who and what you've always been, which the word we use is being or isness or spirit, and carrying no form, no identity at all. And people quite often make a spiritual identity of themselves. I'm more spiritual than someone else, and well, because I spend 4 hours a day meditating. That's another identity again.
It's another
You can't even,
attachment.
you can't even take that with you. No identity at all. So you've drawn a card.
Okay.
Michelle drew a card while we were talking there. That's beautiful. That's perfect. It's about guidance. Where is our guidance as we make this transformation? So these are very interesting times, and the old Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. Well, we're there. We're right there. And we're going to see it more and more manifesting in the world of form as the world of form becomes more dysfunctional. And do not be afraid. Do not be afraid.
It's actually really exciting.
What is real cannot be threatened. Always come back to that. When you're feeling a bit anxious, come back to, what part of me is being threatened here? It's my form part. It's my identity part. Let me step back into my presence. Your presence can never be threatened. Who and what you are can never be threatened. And that will guide us safely through these times of transformation.
And then we have beauty and joy right there, It's not. This is not something to be afraid of. It's actually something to be opened to and embraced. So embracing change as opposed to resisting it. So being open to it. I think it must be pretty hard for the caterpillar to try and cling on to all his legs.
Well, only if it was an ego.
That's what I mean. If he's attached to his legs.
Yeah, if he's not an ego, if nature doesn't find transformation, doesn't find death difficult at all. It just lets go when it needs to let go. It's only humans that try to cling on to physical form. And just one little plug here before Michelle does the closing meditation, in which she's going to bring out the power in this affirmation. It's very powerful. Just a little plug, we have 3 retreats coming up at the Buddhist Retreat Center in Akopo in KZN, South Africa. And the Buddhist Retreat Center was voted by CNN as one of the top 10 spiritual retreat centers in the world. It's a beautiful place, beautiful food, a really beautiful spirit and energy there. And we're running 3 retreats. I'm starting out with a men's retreat from the Sunday the 6th until the 8th. That's a 2-day men's retreat. Please do come along if you're a male and you would like to experience some of this energy and gain some very practical tools to help with the transformation. And there's a lot of focus on the feminine energy, but what about the masculine energy? What is our role in this transformation process, and what help do we have to draw on to support us as a man? So that's important. And then the following Friday, which is what is that, the
13th,
11th. On the 11th, we start our combined retreat,
11th,
and we go from the 11th till the 15th. They're made of 2 parts. The first part is from Friday until Sunday night, and then from Sunday night till Tuesday. You can just do the first part if you like, but I would suggest you do the whole retreat with us. And that is called the Shift Experience. So the men's retreat is called Mastering Your Mind, Liberating the Soul. And the full retreat the next weekend is called the Shift Experience. Part 1 is called the Joy of Being, and the second part, I forget, it's called...
I forget too. It's the shift.
Yeah, it's all part of the shift, yeah. So bookings are done directly with the Buddhist Retreat Center. If you haven't got their details, you can contact us.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's very in line with this whole reset.
Yeah.
So
and then in May, we're doing our Hogsback Retreat, our annual mountain retreat there, which is our most favorite place.
The 9th to the 13th,
of May, yeah. Thank you. You're going to lead us out with the meditation.
Just a short one.
Thank you for being here with us tonight, and just center yourselves for the closing meditation.
All right, so just settling in. If you're not settled in already, make yourself comfy. And just take a deep breath in. And a long, slow, beautiful breath out. And let's just do one more deep breath in. And just sigh out anything that you no longer need to carry in this moment. And each out breath, just relax your body. Soften your body. Just allow a wave of beautiful softness to move right through you from the tips of your the tip of your head, top of your head, down through your head, spiraling down very gently, relaxing your eyebrows, your eyes, your nose, your jaw, softening your scalp, bringing that beautiful soft energy down through your neck and into your shoulders, dropping your shoulders, bringing it down into your arms, into your hands. When it gets to your hands, just notice for a moment. If you focus your attention on your hands, you might actually feel the life force energy pulsing through your hands. You might feel a warmth, you might feel a tingling or a pulsing. Just becoming aware of the frequency, of the energy, of the life flow flowing through your body, that is animating your body. This life force that is breathing you without much doing on your behalf. And bringing this beautiful, gentle, soft energy down through your torso, down through your back, spinal column, all the way down into your pelvic area. Release that area down into your legs, swirling around your knees, down through your shins, your ankles, your feet, and into the earth. Just setting an intention to release that which we no longer need. Anything that you don't need to carry, whether it be a belief, an old pattern of reaction, old thought patterns that are redundant, that don't align with your frequency anymore. Life situations that you no longer need to carry if you don't need to. Just allowing whatever you need to let go of to flow right through the bottoms of your feet into the earth, giving it back to the earth. And allowing new fresh energy to flow in. Energy of joy, abundance, love, allowing, flowing through your whole body, your whole being. And just notice as your breath starts to even and soften. Notice the stillness. In spaces. Connect more deeply with the stillness inside you. Our affirmation for this evening and for the week is: I trust presence to guide me. I allow life to be my guide. I trust presence to guide me. I allow life to be my guide. And just feel a little bit of surrender as you say those words. I trust presence. I allow life to guide me. Beautiful relief and freedom in those words, in the energy of those words. So you may want to repeat that affirmation during the week. And just carry it with you into your next time as we lead into this new moon on Saturday, the 29th. Now take a deep breath. And then a beautiful releasing breath out. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes.
Thank you, that was beautiful. And that affirmation card, which Michelle drew quite randomly out of the pack, is perfect for as a tool to help us navigate the times that we're moving through at the moment. And just know that you are, each one of you, guided and protected, and all your needs flow effortlessly to you. And you're so, so, so very loved.
Absolutely. And I think just that card is just, again, it's proof that if you trust, the right wisdom will come to you. You just open to it, and there it is.
There it is. Perfect. Perfect. If you want to join our WhatsApp group, we have a broadcast Journeys of Awakening WhatsApp group. Just go to our website, journeysofawakening.com. The information of the retreats are there, and then you can also join our WhatsApp group from there. Love you all, and we look forward to catching up with you in 2 weeks' time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Sleep
you.
tight.
Nighty night.
Night. Adieu.